Have you ever wondered when the right time to start investing is? We all want our money to work for us, but when's the right time? And what do you need to do before that right time? In this video, I'm going to tell you when that time is and what you need to do to get yourself there. I'm Richard. I'm an 8-figure entrepreneur that enjoys eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with my wife and kids every single day. We live on an island in the Caribbean, and I hated being poor. I'm willing to bet that you do too. So let's get after it. Most people want to start investing immediately. Today, I want to talk about the financial ranking system. This is the system that you need to follow. The prioritization of these steps is going to free you up for your future. Do not start investing too early. It's going to take your eye off of the ball that is most important right now. So who am I talking to? Listen, if you have less than $1 million in assets, I'm talking to you. If you have less than $700,000 in income every year, I'm talking to you. If you have less than 500 liquid, I'm talking to you. Okay, so I'm talking to a lot of people out there. This is your prioritization. This is your financial ranking system. When you think about what should you do every day, okay, I want you thinking about that every day. What should I be doing? What should I be spending my time on? Well, here is how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the order that you should go in. Number one, I want you to focus on income. All right, so what do I mean by that? If you're making less than $350,000 every year, if you're making less than $350,000 a year, you're basically in the middle class or lower middle class, okay? Just go ahead and face reality. You're not making enough money to live in the world that is coming. The world that is coming, if you want to have options and freedom in this world, you need to increase your income earnings. Okay. To do that, I'm going to go through some practical steps, but I want to be real with you. You have to do that first. All of your attention should be focused on that. Now, if you've maxed out your current vehicle for income, either get a new job or if you have a cushion, a financial cushion, start a business and start creating the opportunity to take that ceiling off of you so that you can raise your income level. But you need to focus on this until your taxable income is over $350,000. Really, it needs to be over $700,000, but let's just get a reasonable goal for you to start towards. You've got to focus all of your attention on this aspect, increasing your income. Okay. Keep going at this until you pass that $350K taxable earnings in a year, 12 months. Okay. Start stacking cash. I want to see at least $500,000 in the bank. Like these, until these ticks start going off, you don't need to change this equation right here. This is your prioritization list. Focus everything you have on your income. Income should be your primary focus. If you're making less than $350,000 a year, put all your attention towards income. Let's talk about number two. If you know that increasing your income is number one, decreasing your frivolous expenses should be number two. You can increase your felt income, the free cash flow that you're creating, by reducing your expenses. This is a huge thing. But creating a spending discipline that reprograms your mind and avoids the unnatural appetite of inflation and uses the expense load equation to bring the favor of what you're creating into your court instead of somebody else's is huge. So reduce your spending on frivolous items. If you haven't done this already, go and watch this video somewhere here to see how I coach people how to do this. Your spending discipline is going to serve you in so many ways. But the first thing is when you're trying to create a cushion, when you're trying to create your income You can create more income, actually felt income, by reducing your expenses, especially on the unnecessary things that we call dead expenses. Dead expenses. So what you're trying to do is get your expense load to about 30%. The first target is 50%. Once you blow past that, you want to get it to 30%. Your expense load to 30%, which means your expenses are 30% of your income. Okay. So number one, all of your focus is on income. Income. How do I create more income? Thinking about that, writing it down. What am I doing to change my situation in terms of creating more income? Then I'm working on my spending discipline. My spending discipline means I'm not spending frivolously. I'm spending with intention, or I'm conserving what I am spending. I'm either spending on things that help my income, or I'm just not spending it. Obviously, we want to survive, but let's be honest. Most people are spending way more than the survival metric. All right, this is number two. So if you're making about $15,000 a month, you should only be spending about 4.5 of that. That's what I mean by working on spending discipline. 30% level. Okay. In the beginning, you're probably going to be at 90%. Get it down to 50%. That's going to be hard. Get it down even more. Turn the wrench. Turn those screws into it. Get it down to that 30% level. Okay. Once we've done these two things, there's something that nobody ever talks about, and that is tax reduction. Do you know that the biggest expense that you feel every single year is actually not wasteful spending? It's actually taxes. Now, of course, you have to be making enough money for taxes to actually matter. But if you're doing that, if you're paying a substantial amount in taxes, there are ways to stop that. There are ways to reduce that. Now, I'm not talking about doing anything illegal. I'm talking about using the tax code to your advantage. It's written in a way that wealthy people continue to become more wealthy because the wealthy people make the rules. We know that. People think that their CPA should figure all of that out. Well, guess what? Your CPA is only trying to make money for himself or herself. They're trying to feed their family. That's reality. If you don't know that, time to wake up and smell the roses, Johnny. They ain't worried about you. They're really not. So they're not going to plan out all of this savings that you can be incurring. Okay? Taxes are going to literally rob you of 30 to 50% of your wealth. So getting your hands around this and learning the tax code and advantages and exemptions and places that you can reduce your earned income is where you're going to gain a lot of value. The tax code is complicated, and it's complicated for a reason. It's so you can understand it. Screw that. Time for you to get through that little mind barrier that's in front of you. Go through that and start learning. Literally, buy a book on taxes. Read it. There's so many books out there. I know it's not the most exciting thing, but if 30 to 40% of your wealth, even more, is going towards taxes, then learn what the government wants you to do to decrease your tax burden. Because believe me, they want you to, because they are incentivizing you to do that by buying real estate, by creating jobs with your business, by investing in economic zones, in potential zones. Like there's all kinds of things that you can do, but if you don't understand it, if you don't take the time to learn what these little changes that you can do in your financial future and your life, you're not going to do it. You're not going to get the advantages. The tax code is complicated so that it keeps you poor. I hate to say that, but that's the reality of it. People that figure it out and use it to their advantage obviously create more wealth for them and their families. Seems like a reasonable thing for you to do. But here's the deal. It is written with clear incentives. Even though it's confusing, it's written with clear incentives to help the wealthy people get wealthier. That's it. That's why the tax code exists. The government needs its funding, and wealthy people want to get wealthier. That's it. They know, like the wealthy people understand that the government needs money. The best people to get it from is the middle class. Those people that work really hard and pay their taxes and don't question anything and don't think about things and don't try to figure out ways to create more income and to reduce their burdens, that's the people that they just get it from. I'm trying to open your mind here. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So he who has the gold makes the rules. That's why the tax code is written the way it is. Don't fight it. Learn it. Start using it to your advantage. The last thing you should do is start investing. If you're here, then you have better done the top 3. Because if you haven't done the top 3, you can't understand how to invest. Because you make an investment and then you lose all of it or all of the gains through taxes. Or you make an investment and you lose it because you didn't understand how to analyze risk, because you didn't put the time into increasing your skill sets so your income level would increase, and then you didn't create the disciplines in your spending habits, and so you spend all the money in your business and you now are cash flow negative instead of positive. Okay, so now that you have done the top 3, it's time to invest. People always get this backwards. They start thinking, oh, I got 5,000, I got 20,000 I'm going to go start investing. But that's not how it works. You don't have the discipline. You don't have the skill set to actually make money on investments. You don't understand how to analyze risk. So stop putting yourself in 25 different places. Put yourself on one thing, increasing your income. And if you need to increase your income, the best way to do that is to increase the skill sets you have to offer to the marketplace. Creating cash from an investment creates a new need in your quiver of skill sets that you don't have right now. Now, when your net worth changes and it gets above $1 million, maybe above $3 million, maybe the order of these changes. But until then, this is the order. This is what you're thinking about every day. Income, increase my income. How do I do that? Well, I need to up the value that I can provide to the marketplace. Number 2, how do I control my spending habits? Create a discipline in my spending so that I'm not being frivolous. It's way harder to make money than it is to control spending. So just do it that way. Like, increase your free cash flow by controlling what is going out instead of just doing it haphazardly. Then figure out the tax code. Start looking at that. It's important. It will change the way you do life. And it's not hard changes. You make all these changes for your employer. Why not make changes for tax purposes so that you can increase the amount of income that you actually keep? Pretty important. And then you're going to start thinking about investing. But if you haven't done the 3 things above investing, you can't be an investor. You've probably heard the term of an accredited investor. An accredited investor understands risk. They understand reward. They understand how to balance out and discipline, and they understand how to create a return. But if you don't know those 3 things above investing that I've talked about here today, you can forget it. You don't have the deal access. You don't have the income. You don't have the free cash flow to actually put into a deal. Look, sure, you can go put some money in the S&P, but dear gracious, you're totally just throwing your money into something that you have no idea what you're doing. Don't do it based off a tip. Don't put it into a crypto because you heard somebody made a bunch of money. If you're hearing that, chances are the time has already passed. You aren't early, you're late, and you're going to be holding the bag. So stop thinking about investments. It's just wasting your time. It's just sucking your energy right out of you. Start focusing on creating income, creating a discipline around your spending, and reducing your tax burden. And then once you've done those 3 things, you can start investing. So when is the right time to start learning and investing with your free cash flow? Well, in my opinion, when you're making over $350,000 in income every single year, you've got your expenses down below that 30% expense load ratio, which means your expenses are 30% of your income or less. And you've minimized your tax burden or maximized the efficiency in your taxing. Now it's time to learn how to invest because you've done the hard work. You've put the time in. You've proven that you're actually ready to start making money with money. This is the order. If you deviate from this, it's going to cause more pain. It's going to elongate your time for reaching your goals. It also is going to kill your hopes and your dreams and your financial freedom. Believe me, nothing kills it faster than focusing on the wrong thing at the wrong time. If you master this order and become a poor millionaire, which is what you're going to be if you A million assets is like the poorest millionaire you can be, right? If you become a poor millionaire, then it's time to increase your fourth category skill set. It's time to up level and start using the cash flow that you're getting and you're generating and start putting that into assets that pay you day in and day out, even when you're not working on them. That's when you start building wealth. But you can't do that till you've got the first three things mastered. So I hope this video is insightful on the order and the prioritization that you should be considering when you're thinking about investing. Don't do it until you've mastered these first three items and you have at least $1 million in net worth, or you're making at least $350K in positive cash flow after expenses. Hey, listen, if you found this content valuable, then take action right now. One micro action that you can take is to smash the like button and sub to the channel. In this channel, I show you exactly what I do every day to create more time and income so that my family has more options. Options that I honestly never dreamed about growing up. I do this by building durable businesses that create monthly cash flow and are sellable. Most importantly, they allow me to live wherever I want to live and do what I want to do with my time, energy, and resources. If you want to see the step-by-step of how I do exactly that, then click the link below and I will show you everything that I've done to get where I am today.